Hello, beautiful people. I'm just gonna give it a little moment as usual to see if anybody seems to simmer through. I've got my tea, nice brew here. I can't even remember what it is. I know that it's got nettle and lavender and something else, which is cute because nettle, obviously, it's that season, it's that time of the year, and lavender, it's also that time of the year. And hello. Oh, those bells felt like confirmation. I don't know if you heard them, but I'm gonna take it. It's nice to just have like a hot herbal tea after a very full-on morning and afternoon to kind of just reset and indulge in the space where I am currently. And I feel like this is a real beautiful way to welcome April and the theme that we'll be discussing today as our monthly theme, as we've been doing since the beginning of 2025, which has just been a really nice way to ensure that we're attuning to nature, staying on top of ourselves, our cycles, and making sure to just check in, with ourselves and each other. So I've really been enjoying this momentum that we've been cultivating, and as I say that is literally the name of today's live. So feeling very aligned, feeling very resonant with the present moment, and that is just, what a beautiful reflection. Feeling very gratitude, feeling very full of gratitude, feeling very grateful, thankful for life. Thank you for how far we've come, and just everything, where we've arrived at this point in time. What does that look like for you? Just so fortunate to be here. I'm actually going to, I haven't read my yogi tea quote because I was saving it for stepping on live, because I just felt like there could be a message that we could all benefit from. So I'm gonna have a look at it for the first time now. You're in this with me together. Walk beautifully, talk beautifully, live beautifully. And what a beautiful message to take away with us today. So there it is. I know it's reversed, but hey ho, you win some, you lose some. Walk beautifully, talk beautifully, live beautifully. That is honestly, so aligned with how I'm feeling. That is crazy, actually, given some of the things that I've shared on my personal Instagram account today and just how I've been feeling. Oh my god, I love this life. I really do. When things just synchronously match up and the magic really comes forward and reveals itself, ain't nothing better. It just feels so good, so juicy, so full of nectar, like birthing miracles. That's what it feels like, birthing miracles. So for anyone who joins us later, I always like to open up the space with a moment to ground. And if you haven't already, I invite you to take a nice loving deep breath into the body and hold and release in your own time, letting go of any stagnant energy, giving your body some room to wiggle and move if you need to, light stretch, shake those legs, do what feels good for you. That's the most important thing. A few deep breaths in your own time. Make sure you're connecting with your body in those moments, really connecting with your surroundings as well, and just opening yourself up to the gratitude of being here right now as you are, perfectly, You know, you are imperfectly perfect right here, right now. And what not a better time to fully embrace that. I'm going to take us through a really short visualization to further into that grounding, into the body, into the space. Once you're comfortable, as we are attuning to our breath and our emotions, our energy moving through our body, I invite you to visualize a seed. You are this seed, deep down beneath the earth. Quite comfortable you are, having been here for a while. And I want you to visualize this seed growing its roots, trickling down into different directions, long roots, stretching far and wide, searching for nutrients in the soil. As your roots lovingly take up space, you firmly start to ground into the earth. I want you to tune into what that feels like, to feel deeply grounded into the earth, to feel welcomed, to feel a sense of belonging, home, warmth, to feel rested, to feel held as you are on your journey, deepening further into the ground. Because remember, the deeper we go, the higher we rise. Take this moment to settle into gratitude for yourself, for being here, for showing up today. And for your body, carrying you through all your triumphs and tribulations up until this point. You are here as you are because your vessel has brought you here, has carried you here, and the earth beneath you has welcomed you and created a home, a safe haven for you. Rest in this knowing, assured that it is. And so it is. Now I gently welcome you back into the space. Wow, I'm just looking at the time like, is that how much time that really went by? And I just opened up my eyes to all that beautiful light. And I don't know about you, but everything just got so much more vibrant. I love it, love it, love it. So, the essence of April. We have quickly moved with momentum through March. I mean, I feel like March just came and went real quick. The essence of April is really cultivating that momentum. So that new energy that started to arise in March, those subtle stirrings of spring that were happening beneath the surface, and towards the end of March started to really birth themselves beyond the surface. April is really leaning into the cultivation of that momentum, which really means to lean in more to this new energy, to embrace it and allow the momentum to take us with it in a flow. Because if you think about it, how do plants sustain their growth? They don't just rush. They stay attuned to their inner workings and their environment, of course. So yeah, similarly, our momentum must be in harmony with our personal seasons, with our goals, with how we feel, all of that jazz. So with that in mind, if you see me looking down, I'm just looking at some notes that I made before I came live. If you keep that in mind, things that come to mind are to do with, sustainable habits and embodied growth, making space for stillness, because cultivating momentum and maintaining that momentum is going to require us to have tools that allow us to really remain in that energy flow, to really allow us to stay open and with the energy momentum filtrating through us freely, without blocks, without feeling stagnant, without feeling burnt out. So how can we honor our consistency whilst honoring the flow and the flow of our life cycles and the seasons? So creating space for our emotional flow, creating space for restorative care and integration, making sure that we are regulating our nervous system, slowing down to ensure that we are listening to the body at each moment that feels right, to inform our decision making, to do so consciously, using all forms of our intelligence before moving forward. So really allowing yourself to invite in moments to pause before making choices, before making change. Really assess where you are in each moment before deciding to move on. And I feel like just taking that small initiative can create such big ripples, because it's all intentionality at the end of the day. And that is the beautiful thing about free will, is that we all have the choice to do this. And it can get really exciting if you learn the tools that can enable more fun, more freedom, more flow. And I really believe that this is the essence of the reasons why we put in these practices, is to realign ourselves back to our truest nature that is always abundant, always receiving, always giving, in a way that feels so aligned. And when we're in that flow of alignment, we aren't burnt out, we aren't doing too much. It just is. It just perfectly is. Perfect harmony of give and take, ebb and flow. You feel me? So I feel like April is really about harnessing what it means to cultivate the momentum and maintain it so that we can flourish beautifully throughout this season. So I hope that you've taken something away from that, and I invite you to think about what that could look like for you, because at the end of the day, we are all different individuals in this room, okay? And what a great, sexy thing. So I've kind of already what's the word I'm looking for? I've already sort of pointed towards these points, but just to reference positive psychology, seeing as that's my background and sort of what I'm implementing into this space. Things that we can think about here is like self-determination theory, because growth is most sustainable when we nurture our autonomy. So essentially choosing what aligns with us, and competence. So when we're building on our small wins, maintaining that essence of feeling like, we're achieving things, and connection. So essentially being in a supportive environment, being a part of supportive communities, our friends, our families, our relationship with ourselves and our space. So when we connect all of those things together, that's when growth is most sustainable. So as I said, free will, being determined, being self-determined, having that capacity to make those choices. It's your birthright. You hold the power literally within your hands. You just have to say go, and you will go. And that, looking at this momentum and asking us, like, how can we maintain our flow in our creative or personal growth or our professional lives, in our personal lives, whilst honoring rest, whilst giving ourselves space to be as we are without doing, right? Finding that beautiful harmony, that ebb and flow, and allowing the ebb and flow to feel like very loose, very fluid. I've definitely been feeling into that energy lately, and it's just honestly like it doesn't get better than this. I just feel so, I don't know how to put into words, like the word shapeshifter comes into mind. I just feel so alchemical, like malleable, like, you know, like adaptable, cardinal, like just mutable. Even mutable is the word, like just open to change and expressing those changes with freedom, with love, with intent, with joy, oozing sexiness all around. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just really tapping into what sustainable habits you can implement in this season of your life to ensure an embodied sense of growth throughout April. We're tuning into softness, stillness, and emotional flow, remembering our restorative care, integrating this to ensure that stillness and that emotional flow and those sustained habits, because we want full embodied success that is sustainable, that lasts for a lifetime and not just a season. And how are we going to make that happen is by taking those steps in our seasons to ensure that longevity in the future onwards from now. I also invite you to think about, what is one word or phrase or intention that you want to carry through in April with all of what we've spoken about already in mind? What is one word, phrase, or intention that you'd like to carry through in April? I'm just trying to have a think for myself. I feel like what comes to mind for me is remembering how I've been implementing a new structure since February, March. I've been implementing a new structure into my life, and I've been playing with it. So it's like, whilst I've had the intention to maybe be more disciplined in a certain way, implement new habits, I've also not been so hard on myself. Like, you know, we are human, we make mistakes, we are not rigid creatures. It's in our nature to, you know, break boundaries. And I feel like with all of that knowledge in mind, what I do is, whilst I set myself goals and obviously I work towards those goals, if I have a day where I don't rigidly follow what I've set out for myself, I'm ensuring that I'm talking to myself positively at the end of the day. It's like I'm reparenting myself, saying, you know, it's okay. How can we do something now that's going to still move us in this direction? It might not be what I had planned specifically, but what can I do now before I end the day to sort of settle into a place of gratitude for still choosing to positively stretch myself and move towards my, you know, bigger goal, and really comfort myself through, you know, it's a new thing, so it's going to be uncomfortable. I'm not going to want to do it all the time, even though it's something I deeply desire, like my future self is calling me forward. It's going to be messy, and so how can we really just revel in this messiness But how can we maintain our energy through all the chaos? Do you know what I mean? Chaos is an inevitable part of life, but I feel like there are definitely different types of chaos that we get to experience. And so I say choose your chaos if you can. If you feel like you have that capacity to choose how you explore and experience your chaos, choose to do so in a way that feels loose and fluid and flowing with the current. You know, be adaptable to change. I feel like that is the key to success overall. And I feel like I'm going off on a little tangent, but it's all relevant always, of course. I'm saying this because when I think about my intention for April, I'm really landing into how can I flow more with ease towards my bigger goals without feeling like I'm restricting myself from my goal ultimately. Like, even when things don't go to plan, instead of getting rigid and like closed in on myself, like I didn't do this a specific way, instead of focusing on that, why don't I shift my focus to, okay, that's okay, but what can I do next? What can I do now? How can I still choose to feel good and move forward and try again the next moment I have, you know? So yeah, I want to leave it there. I think we've taken up enough space for now, and I hope that whoever finds this message and receives it, I mean, I trust that this is going to find the right people at the right time, and I trust that who is meant to receive will receive. Remember to take what's yours, release what isn't, what doesn't resonate, and yeah, discernment is yours always. So may we move forward with steady hearts, trusting our rhythm and honoring the momentum that is uniquely ours. Yeah, we're all unique. We are all part of the human spectrum, and we get to flaunt different variations of our hues whenever we feel like it. So remember that. Yeah, you're different for a reason. Shine your light. You are beautiful, and I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to working and collaborating with so many of you in the near future. I'm always here for a chat if you are curious about any one-to-one coaching and any potential work that you'd like to collaborate on. I'm sending you my love, and I hope you have a wonderful April. And I'm so excited because, like, the best month of the year, hint hint nudge nudge, is just around the corner. With that, I'm gonna love you and leave you until next time, which will be our April end of month community check-in. So yeah, stay tuned for that.